Hello, and welcome to today's show, Legacy Living, Make Your Life Count. I'm your host, Dr. Gloria Burgess, international leadership expert and trusted advisor. Welcome to Legacy Living, Make Your Life Count. I'm so delighted that you joined me today. Today's episode is all about being on purpose. We are going to talk about what it is, what it means, and why it's so important for people of all ages, why it's important in your family, at work, and with your friends. So, what does it mean to be on purpose, to live on purpose? That's a great question, isn't it? Being on purpose is about being focused, deliberate, committed, and aligned. Focused, deliberate, committed, and aligned with whatever has heart and meaning for you. In other words, being on purpose is about being intentional. Like anything else that you want to nurture, that you want to cultivate as a habit, you have to practice, and then practice some more. That's right. If you want to be more intentional about being on purpose, let me just tell you that now is the time. Don't wait. Today is the day. Now is the time to lighten your load, to drop tomorrow's worries, to say so long to yesterday's baggage. Why? Because today is enough. You are enough. Now is the time to make the most of every day. There are no guarantees how many days we will get. Now is the time to seek authenticity, to be genuine. Guess what? Being authentic, being genuine will set you apart. Now is the time to be you. Take time to discover yourself. Find your unique you. Now is the time to cherish your memories. Relive them, learn from them, hand them down to your children. Then go and add to those memories. Now is the time to cherish your family. Treasure your time with them. Now is the time to look beyond yourself, to think of other people. Look where you can help, and do it with selfless passion. Now is the time to try kindness, to step outside of your world. Chances are there are many, many people who are caught up in struggles. Now is the time to spread love. Why? Because it gives us meaning. It brings compassion and gives us new eyes. Now is the time to embrace your challenges. Look upon them as opportunities. Use them to strengthen your resolve, to gain wisdom and compassion. Now is the time to fight for justice. To stand up when you know something is wrong. To support others who promote righteousness. Now is the time to keep trying. When things are not going your way, believe in yourself. Keep going. Now is the time to watch the sunrise. Sense the stillness. Enjoy the warmth. Marvel at renewal. Now is the time to care for our planet. We hold its future in our hands. Make your commitment. Now is the time to find your inner leader. We all have an inner leader. We all have an inner leader within us. Now is the time. Now is the time to live in the present. Your time is precious. Spend it wisely. In other words, now is the time to be intentional. Now is the time to be on purpose. Now is the time to celebrate the amazing, magnificent music of your life. Because, as I always say, in the grand song of the universe, life is short and very, very precious. So make the days in your life count. One of the ways that I keep myself on purpose is to take time to reflect. In fact, I love nothing more than having a few hours each day or an entire day, an entire weekend, to simply kick back and take the time to reflect. Now, reflection, true reflection, is a time to look again. Traditionally, especially in Western culture, we take time to reflect at the start of the new year, right? Now, why do we do this? Because the new year is considered to be a time of new beginnings, a time of transition, doorways, gates, passages, and endings. In fact, our month of January is named after Janus. In Roman myth and religion, Janus is usually depicted as having two faces, since he looks to the future and to the past. So, in Western culture, and I probably should say Northern Hemisphere Western culture, we often think of January as an opening, the doorway to new beginnings, to transitions, and to endings. So January opens the door to reflection. Well, that's great. That's all well and good, right? However, you know what? We can open that door to reflection at any time of the year. We can step back and take time to reflect on our life whenever we want to be intentional about taking stock of where we are, where we've been, and where we want to go. Let me ask you a question. Do you know how to be reflective? I often incorporate reflection into the courses I teach, and I always include reflection when I lead retreats. Why? Because reflection is one of the many ways we can slow down so that we can remember who we are, whose we are, and what's important to us. When we take time to pause and slow down from our typical hectic pace and to breathe, we actually usher in the spaciousness of time. We actually have the time to become conscious and aware and to digest and metabolize what we've achieved or accomplished. When we consciously and intentionally digest and metabolize who we are, whose we are, and what we do, we can actually then begin to integrate all of that into our lives. Now, reflection doesn't have to be hard work, but make no mistake about it, it is work. Here are some questions you can ask yourself to help you track, digest, metabolize, and integrate the various arenas of your life. Now, I'm going to invite you to write these questions down. Okay? So grab a pad, pen, pencil, your notepad, your iPad, whatever you happen to have. Here are the questions. What goals or milestones have I achieved? What goals or milestones have I achieved? What can I improve on? Where am I stuck? What is keeping me stuck or holding me in place, holding me back? Now, again, these are questions to help you track, digest, metabolize, and integrate the various arenas of your life. Now, I'm going to repeat those questions in case you were, running around trying to get your notepad. What goals or milestones have I achieved? What can I improve on? Where am I stuck? What's keeping me stuck or holding me in place? What's holding me back, right? Now, we all lead such busy, busy lives that our accomplishments, our achievements often get buried in the daily minutia. We forget, or we don't even notice sometimes, our own efforts. That's why I like to take a moment to remember all the people I've met, the meetings I've had, the conferences I've attended, the articles or posts or books I've written, the projects I've tackled, the things I've read. Doing so helps me become conscious of how I've moved forward as well as what threw me off track, right? The things that were not aligned with who I am and whose I am. Reflection can actually help you get clarity about how to stop living on autopilot and start living the life you want, which is the kind of life we all want, right? And that's a life of satisfaction and contentment. Well, that sounds pretty wonderful to me. How about you? And did you know you can start today? You can begin nurturing and cultivating your own contentment today. That's right. Here's how you do it. Here are a few tips for cultivating contentment in your life. Now, despite what you see in the movies or read in romance novels or fairy tales, true contentment doesn't just magically happen to you. Poof! No. That kind of life doesn't just magically appear, but it is something you can make happen. In fact, it's something you can actually cultivate. So let's take a look at what this is all about. Science tells us what spiritual leaders have known and told us for thousands of years. What's that? We can all be happy. We can actually take charge. We can actually control our own contentment. Science tells us that circumstances make very little difference in how contented people are. In fact, research reveals that happiness, which is a key aspect of contentment, is due to personality. More importantly, we can change our thoughts and behaviors, which means we can actually learn how to shift our pattern. So yes, you can learn how to be happy, or at least happier, right? Now, many of us believe that happiness is the result of having oodles and oodles of money, being rich, wealthy, or being beautiful, or being blissfully thin, or being free from the very real dangers of being stressed out. But here's the reality. Most of the folks who are financially well off, or so-called beautiful by the world standards, and even those who are less stressed, guess what? They are not happier on average than those who don't enjoy financial wealth or beauty or lower stress in their lives. People who are happy seem to know that their happiness is the result, that their happiness is the sum total of their choices in life. Okay? So it's a sum total of the choices that we make. Those who are happy, those who routinely experience contentment in their life,